Hello and welcome to the Glasgow PT podcast, episode 44. It's Isolation for the Nation, part 5. I'm not joined today by Scott Simpson. He has got stuff he'd rather to be doing than this, so he's obviously not committed to the cause. Now, I'm just joking, he is busy, but we have a very amped substitute, and it's Andy Scott.
How you doing, my man?
Andy Scott, how are you doing, bud?
Not too bad, mate, not too bad.
Pretending I've not just been talking for the last 5 minutes. 10 minutes.
Do you know that song? It's like that viral thing. Bored in the house, I'm in the house bored. I just keep saying that.
That's right. Aye.
Reagan's like, shut up.
Somebody wrote that as a caption before I saw the actual thing. I heard the thing,
Right, okay.
And I was like, they've made a typo there. What the fuck does that mean? Bored in the house and I'm house in the board. What? And then I heard it. But I mate, let's get talking. How you been? What's been the agenda? Obviously, the hot topic that is coronavirus. But how you been dealing with it, mate? How's your mind? How's the body?
Well, you know me. I spend a lot of time doing like online plans and programming and things like that. So I'm in my flat quite a bit anyway. For me, it's the knowing that I can't go and do stuff. Like I'm pretty self-isolated anyway. Other than going to the gym to train PT clients, I'll train by myself most of the time. I'll come home and I'll do online plans and check-ins until I go to bed. Yep. So, but it's the fact that I find it quite hard dealing with the fact that like there's nothing to do, and I can only watch so much TV and that. So, but other than that, it's what it is, mate. You just got to kind of crack on. And I mean, the PT industry and the fitness industry is taking a fair hit, as have most industries. But you just have to just realize that this is only temporary, and just you got to see it through and just kind of do what you can, keep yourself occupied and keep some sort of routine. And so that's basically what I've been trying to do since all this all kicked off. So,
aye, mate, similar. I don't know about you, but last week was a real testing week. It felt like it was a long week. Let's put it that way, mate. I think a lot of people. I think because you share everybody else's worries and concerns, it almost multiplies. Yeah. So by the time it got to Saturday, mate, I was like, it's only been 1 week of lockdown. Mm-hmm. Like that's only been one official week, really. Aye. And already we're kind of, but mate, we're human beings. You know, we've over hundreds and thousands of years we've adapted, no matter what we get flung at us. Obviously, this sort of generation and this time, we are spoiled for everything we've got in front of us. Mm-hmm. So you know, we have to deal with it in a lot better. In a lot tougher way. But for me, it's the same, mate. I'm just trying to get wee small wins each day. Like I said to you, I'm doing MetaFit for my clients. I've got like 2 scheduled a day, roughly. On average, maybe 7 or 8 a week. So 1 or 2 a day, the odd day. And it's not my style of training at all. It's very much out of my comfort zone, mate. Having said that, I do need to get fitter. So you know, what better way to do that than some HIIT every day and blow out your arse and try and keep up with clients who are really, really fit. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's been a step in my comfort zone. Now I'm actually enjoying it because I know it's not the style of training I'm going to be doing all the time.
Aye.
Again, mate, we spoke about this in the last couple of podcasts, but as trainers, we seem to be now advocating home workouts. But that's not the message we're trying to get out there. We're trying to get out there the fact that is all you can do right now. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to oversell it and be like, look, here's home workouts. They're actually brand new. You can still build some muscle. Mm-hmm. People are like, well, why the fuck was I not doing it in the past?
Aye.
And you're like, well, look, like, you know, I'm trying to explain to you in a positive way how we can look at this situation here. And we can train in a way that will cause blood flow to the areas. It is not ideal. It's in an environment that is less than ideal, in a living room or in a spare room. That, you know, all those kind of factors. But we're not trying to be advocates. We're just trying to make the best of a bad situation. That's what we do as coaches. That's what we should be doing. So, yeah, mate, I'm doing the MetaFits. I'm enjoying it. I want to show my clients that I'm enjoying it and lead from the front. Things like just walking and, you know, doing client stuff that I maybe was putting off every other week and month. There's working on a private website for clients only is something in particular that comes to mind when I always just put that off, mate, because I had too much one-to-one. Things like cooking meals, mate. Like I know you've been for the last 10 years been eating out of Tupperware. You've probably now you probably still put it in Tupperware, don't you?
Yeah, I do. That's part of it. Like just like you said with your routine, that's part of my routine. So I still do that. So,
mate, exactly. Aye, and if that works for you and that keeps your head right, do it. It's definitely a recommendation I would do for people who are as serious as Andy is with building muscle and sticking to a diet and stuff. But yeah, mate, I'm similar to you. Just try to take each day as it comes, and it seems to be working now. Last week there was I'd be lying if I didn't say I had some, wee bad days and good days, but we're getting our way now because of those wee wins. But mate, look, one of the reasons I got you on as well, one of the biggest reasons was to talk about muscle building and muscle retention during this time. Because let's face it, mate, there's going to be a ton of people who are worried that they'll lose their gains. There's going to be a ton of people who are totally ruling out home workouts in any way. Now, let's get a bit more detailed than home workouts. If you've got dumbbells and a barbell, just because it's a home workout, you still have dumbbells and a barbell. The muscle doesn't know where it is. So, mate, let's talk. What advice you would give to people who are concerned about losing muscle during this time?
Right. So, even if you've got a kind of whole gym set up, if you've got a squat rack, Olympic bar, dumbbells, weights, you can still make progress. With muscle building, you absolutely can. But that's a very small minority of people that have that. I don't even have that. So, in reality, if we're talking across the board, you're not going to be building muscle during this time. But like you just said, stimulation, keeping to some sort of training routine, that is what's going to get you through this, rather than just fobbing off home workouts and things like that. I've got a lot of my clients doing body weight stuff. I've got a client who's got 6K kettlebell, doing a kettlebell workout with a 6K kettlebell, bands, all this stuff. It's at this time, it's what you've got. So tough. You just got to deal with that. You've got to program for that and just kind of realize that that's the current situation. And just realize that this time, it's maybe a bit of a shit time, but you've just got to accept that significant amount of muscle building right now isn't going to happen, but you will retain as soon as you're getting stimulation to the muscle and keeping your nutrition in a good place. Because if you're just eating shite all day, your protein intake is going to come right down. If that protein is still there, you're still going to tick over and you're still going to create that positive nitrogen balance that's going to keep you positively holding onto your muscle. You got to remember as well that, like I said to you before the show started, how many guys and girls don't take breaks ever? And I've been doing this for not even 5+ years. Even if you haven't taken a break over a year, now is the perfect time to, still do a little bit in the house with your bands and stuff like that. But it's also time to realize that this is the perfect time to rest and take time off, because you're not getting in those massive sessions that you were before. So the fact that the government has told you, right, you're stuck inside, just take that as, right, maybe I should take this time just to rest and recover a little bit and not batter my body into the ground. And what I've actually noticed with a few clients' check-ins, assuming that they've stuck to their nutrition over this past week to 10 days, is that they do look slightly better. I checked in with my clients this morning, Calvin. This is definitely the first time he's ever taken time off. He won't even do a deload when I ask him. So he won't even, by deload I mean he won't even reduce his intensity. But he's only got two 12K dumbbells, and he looks better. Skin looks fresher, the muscle looks rounder. So even if you can't do anything right now, just rest. Rest as well. It's an ample time to do all this kind of stuff. And that rest, you're gonna help the muscle recover. You're gonna help it regain its look. I know for a fact that the amount of sitting I've been doing, not being on my feet all day, my legs feel so much better. I had an issue through my left quad for ages, and that feels so much better now, simply because I'm sitting resting. And that is, if you're healing, then that's a positive sign that your body is not adding muscle, but it's repairing the muscle that's still there. So if you feel better, you're retaining your muscle that's there. You are going to be a little bit deflated. A t-shirt may not fit the same way, but again, you just have to realize that being in the gym all the time, as good as it is and the benefits it has, the rest is vitally important as well. And now is the perfect time to kind of make use of that.
Yeah, mate. No one's ever got well ahead of someone else just because they overtrain and they train and they don't rest. It's crucial. It's like bodybuilders in the past 20, 30 years who train 4 times a week. Some of them do splits that are not considered ideal for bodybuilding, but it allows them to rest. It's all about the quality over quantity, isn't it, mate? It's like, Arnold used to talk about how he could do one exercise and it'd be better than a guy doing 5. Just because the quality, the contraction, the intensity, all those factors. Mate, and I think this is why I got you on to say that, because it holds less weight when it comes from me and Skinner. So we get it for somebody like you who can come and say that with authority. So hopefully people listening to that, mate, jokes aside, you know what I mean? They've got to realise, mate, I made this point in the last few podcasts. Number one, the training plan or the way you carried out your workouts and some of the days, it didn't burn as many calories as you thought it did. You know, mate, how many times have you looked at a client's progress through a check-in? They say the diet's in check, they say the training's in check on paper. The massive margin for error when you say, I've done all the training plan. Sometimes it's like, no, right, they actually might have stuck to the diet. Let's look at the training here. Right, can you send me 3 videos in the next check-in? Can I see your failure set? And all of a sudden, that's another metric for us to check as coaches. You've done that probably. You probably do that with clients more consistently than I do, just to make sure, because that's your kind of, that's what you preach.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel that the reason I'm saying that is that a lot of yous could benefit from doing full range of movement in your lifts. Whether that be bodyweight squats. If you can't do a full range bodyweight squat and hold it, if you're doing some sort of isometric hold, or if you're doing a high reps because that's all you've kind of got, or if you're doing banded, this might be the time to really feel tensions. There'll be muscles in your body that you probably never felt before. I know when I've went through cycles and splits of just using a hack squat as my main compound for quads. It's been great. It's the first time I started using that, mate, I felt areas of the quad, specifically rec fem, like I'd never felt before. And then when I'm back to back squats after quite a long time off, I felt it in my adductors because I squat deep. So the same applies with certain chest movements and certain back movements. You'll feel the muscle go, what the fuck? And that's something that I think you'll agree with me, is not a lot of people have rotate their training. I mean, I know you have certain rotations between exercises. That's just classic sort of Jordan Peters and whoever else, and you've implemented that a lot because I know that because I've trained with you. But that there's guys who bench press every single Monday, for example, and they don't go a period of time without the bench press. So I guess the point I'm trying to make, mate, is it's time to shock the muscles. Is obviously a bad phrase, but what I mean by that is it's time to feel areas of your body that you've never felt before. And you need to do that by trying. That's all you've got. Yeah. So if it means 4-second eccentrics or 4-second concentrics, it might just be what it has to be. And that will retain the muscle.
Yeah, you just made the point there, is that, again, I had another client who was like, I've only got like 5K dumbbells in the house. I was like, right, okay, do standing shoulder press with them and now do a 25-second negative. They'll feel like 50s. It's just about changing things. And like another one of my clients, who you see me train often, he was like, I'm not sure about the workout you've written. So basically, he's got push-pull legs, and I just changed it so it's like it worked in with his equipment at home, like bench, a couple of dumbbells, blah blah blah. And he was like, this is nowhere near as hard, obviously because of the weight. I'm not shifting the same weight. And I was like, nah, do a 20-second negative then when you're doing bicep curls. Like it'll be just as sore. So that it's these wee variables, and as coaches, like there's a vast array of different things that you can use. Like I can take a resistance band and I can make it feel like I'm curling 60 kilo if I really wanted to. And I think that's what people are missing, especially the guys like who compete and stuff like that, and who take fitness incredibly seriously and weight training incredibly seriously. they think this is like the end of the world. In reality, like you just said, there's so many ways you can make things harder. You're not going to waste away unless you really, 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 really fuck it. Like you have to proper starve yourself, sit on your couch 24/7 to really strip away muscle. But you can make anything. I can make a push up insanely hard.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Mate.
Mate, honestly, we've got workout plans on my phone that have water bottles as dumbbells. So I've got no equipment. You do. You've got that, and now do 50 reps with the water bottles and do a 10-second negatives with every rep. Yep. They'll feel heavy. Like so.
Same with press ups, mate. If you can do, how many press ups can you do? 24. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to do 3 sets of 15. Mm-hmm. Guarantee that'll be hard.
Aye.
And then we'll try and get 28. We'll try and get 30. We'll try and get 35. Mm-hmm. Progressive overload. Simple.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And then that's another one day a kettlebell workout that I've written as well. Like that's I've made that progressive overload as well. So like the first week, 4 sets. Second week, 5 sets. Mm-hmm. So on and so forth, and then we'll add another exercise, so on and so forth. So progressive overload applies across all exercises, not just the leg press and incline dumbbell press. It doesn't just apply to that; it applies to absolutely everything. It applies to the amount of walking you do per day. Like there are some people who will struggle to do an hour a day of walking, right? So like start a half hour, and now do 30, and now do 35, do 40, do 45. I think the reason why I'm so chilled about all this is because, like, the gym. This is coming from me. The gym isn't everything. It's not. And yeah, don't get me wrong. It is the optimal way of building and keeping your muscle. But there are so many other things you can do just to keep things in check. Yeah. And I think definitely across like social media, you can see the panic in some people. Like
you'll see this a lot more than me, mate, because your audience heavily relies on this sport. You guys, and none more so than you, mate. None more so as committed. None more so as successful that I know. So you get mate. I find it funny with bodybuilding. I find that we talk about dipping your toe in bodybuilding and stuff, and this might be a podcast for another day. But with bodybuilding, I think you have to be all in or nothing. But having said that, everybody's different how they use bodybuilding as a focus and what they get from it. But when you're talking about a competing sense, and you constantly going about the fact that you can't go to the gym anymore, you feel your muscles are fading away. Listen to the guy who's won various titles, who has probably, what was that, mate? How long was that you prepped for consistently? Last year.
From December 18, late December 18 until the first week of November 19.
Yeah, so there you go. And that was a guy who got up at 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning, made fresh chicken and rice, for that full duration. Not a drop of alcohol, not this, not that. And yet he's sitting here telling you that, look, there's other things in life right now. Mm-hmm. We need to, that the gym will be there when you get back. Mm-hmm. Try and find another purpose in your life. Mm-hmm. People have got different backstories, mate. I know that, right? You might have found bodybuilding that saved them from depression. I get that, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the same with this, mate. Every bit of advice we give today is based purely on people who want to retain muscle or build muscle if you're a brand new beginner, or get fat loss or keep your fat loss. So this is what we're basing it on. We're not basing it on a pandemic in terms of like there's a lot more things going on in the world. Mm-hmm. We're giving our 2 cents on how you can keep going, because, mate, there is some people in your ranks as well. They're ready to go. They're still good to go. They're still good to make the most of this. There's some beginner, intermediate, advanced who are just like, right, let's go, because it's all about inside the mind. So in terms of like people who are starting to stress at 1, 2, 3 year into training, and weight training is your life, take it for a guy who it's also his life, but he understands that if you heavily rely, mate, it's like hitting. If you heavily rely on one thing in your life, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, and it's all or nothing, and that shit starts to crack, we know that's a bad place to be.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? That's like anything. And that's where the next point comes in about the fat loss side of it. So people who, I would say there's a ton more people who are now worried about putting fat back on than there is people losing muscle. Because it comes hand in hand with the muscle guys anyway. Do you know what I mean? But the people who want to keep fat loss, the fundamental principles stay the same, mate.
Yeah, there's no change.
There's no change.
Yeah, the gym doesn't dictate if you are in a calorie deficit. Like the gym is a destination. It's not contributing to that deficit. Obviously, the session is. That's not what I mean. Hopefully, people know what I mean. But like number one, it's nutrition, and that's what I've hammered home this past week. Is like especially with fat loss clients, is like don't like you'll succumb to boredom. And I was really bad when I was younger for eating out of boredom. But you have to just remind yourself that number one is nutrition and it's the deficit. It's not the gym. Like you can find that people do it all the time. You can find a point with your diet where you can keep a certain place, that maintenance, and not do any physical activity. You can tailor a diet to sitting on the couch all day long and not putting on weight. It's 100% possible. And I think people are just kind of forgetting that, you know. So, and
that's where people have, over the years, started to rely far too heavily on the gym in terms of to create that energy balance of losing fat, because they try and out-train a bad diet.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you've got an eye now. You've got an eye probably that's matured over the years, mate, that can now see a good physique but a bad diet.
Oh yeah.
You can tell, mate. You've mentioned this in the previous podcasts on various parts of the body where you can tell salt's high. You can tell that, the client looks good, or the muscle might be a bit round and full, but we know there's something lacking there. We know, like you look at a lot of bodies every other day. So you start to build up a sort of like experience with this sort of thing. So so bottom line, people listening to this right now, you can lose fat by, was it you said that's sitting on your couch, Andy? Sum that up, mate, just in a sentence.
You can tailor a diet to lose body fat while sitting on the couch 24/7. It's 100% possible. So don't get it wrong. If there's no stimulus to retain muscle, you'll lose a bit of muscle tissue as well, but you can still lose body fat sitting on the couch doing nothing.
Yeah, I think it's important to reiterate that basic principle, mate, that I feel is very much lost in translation now. You know, me and you have spoke on this podcast in depth about bodybuilding principles and training to failure, and brilliant. And somewhere along the line, sometimes some listeners might get lost in all that and forget that the principles are, you know, how much you move and how much you consume will be ultimately the most important factors. Mate, honestly, I could make the argument as we talk about fat loss realities here, right? Let's talk about the first element. That I've never seen so many people go for a walk and on a puff.
I know.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you've got people who work 9 to 5 jobs and they're allowed only one walk, but we all know that you go a big, massive walk, or you maybe go 2, right? So first of all, there's that. Obviously, you know, it might get offset with the fact people are bored and snacking, right? But let's leave that to the side. You know, let's talk about the fact that for the first time in ages, I've got clients hitting steps, mate, they never hit before.
Aye, 100%.
You know, obviously then you've got, you know, the stress levels that this sort of pandemic brings. But let's look at the positives here, right? There's people walking more. Your steps are up. They were probably down before. You were probably overestimating your upper body workout or your arm workout that you had, thinking that it burned a ton of calories. When guess what? Newsflash, it does not.
Aye.
I know these, you know, Apple Watch trackers and stuff aren't the best for tracking accurately, but they certainly track consistently and accurately.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's what I like about them. So, because there is no other reference to marry it up against. It's like doing body fat measurements. If it's you doing them, or if it's consistent enough, some of them, then it's a consistent and accurate metric. So yeah, mate, I think that we need to hit that home a bit. With the diet side of it, there's a couple of people now promoting the fact that this isn't the best time to lose fat. What would you say about that, mate? What's your thoughts on that?
Shite.
So when people people are saying that this isn't the time to lose fat. This is the time to reserve and chill. You know, spend time with the family, eat whatever food you want.
Well, look at it this way. like the only things you can do outside the house is shop and go for walks, right? And then obviously do your home workouts as well. So that's 3 things. When you go for the shop, don't buy shite. Don't buy stuff for the house. Therefore, when you're bored, you've got nothing to reach for. Can't go to restaurants, can't go to cafes, can't get takeaway, apart from a very, very, very few places. So honest to God, mate, I just said this to a client 2 seconds ago. This is the perfect time to do a contest prep if you had access to a little bit more kit. But like, imagine like you are forced to stay in, you're forced to make use of what you have in the house. Imagine that scenario. It's a perfect time to lose body fat. It's just about people just controlling that boredom and controlling themselves. Like I told you that story prior to going going live, is that I came home, there was nothing in the house, so I ordered a Domino's. It's like, you're part of the only industry that has allocated times to supermarkets just now. That is flat out the worst excuse I've ever heard, because you have ample opportunity to go to supermarkets and not buy shite.
Yeah.
So
definitely, mate. I think, mate, when we talk about fat loss during this time, right, we talk about it's very, when you say the phrase, this is not a good time to lose fat because there's a worldwide pandemic. Now that to me can be translated for a lot of people as an excuse to fall back to the old habits, or they can sit there and go, right, how is my situation? You know, did you lose your job? Are you, you know, in a particular surroundings? For example, if you have 2 or 3 kids running about that used to be at school and you have to juggle all that, probably not a good time to lose fat. But if you've got circumstances where you're working from home, you know, on the laptop, you buy your own food in, you know, or you're your partner and you fill your own fridge. This is the time to learn how to cook, by the way, for all the people who have said they're too tired to cook. I've got a few recipes knocking about, just so you know. But my point is, don't use that as an excuse. Don't get that statement and go, fuck, yes, that means I don't need a diet now because it's probably not best. Weigh up the options here. Could this be the best time? Like Andy said, could this be your best time? The only time you might actually be successful in a fat loss phase? Take it person to person, evaluate, you know, reach out to somebody and go, do you think that this is a good time for me to diet? Don't just do it based on emotion that you feel rubbish and you feel that you've been putting a bit of weight on the past week. Do it from the heart. Be realistic with yourself, because I've started dieting, as you know. You know, majority of fast food places are closed. They should all be closed, in my opinion. I don't know how a Chippy's open. I don't know how that's essential food. You know, if you asked me that a week ago when I wasn't dieting, I'd have been all over it. But mate, this is the time. This is the time for some people, a small amount of people, to keep losing fat. Yeah. Because we can make some big plans at the end of this, mate, when this is all over, and you'll be in a very, very good place.
Yeah. I mean, for me, one of the number one reasons people fall off is I socialise at the weekend, social drinking, social eating. That's literally illegal. Well, it's not illegal, but you know what I mean? You can't do that. You can't socialise. You can't use that as an excuse. You can't be like, oh, well, my mates are drinking, so, you know, I had a few and then that resulted in a takeaway later and all that sort of stuff. That's literally impossible. You can't do it. Someone has actually taken that away. It is the perfect time to lose body fat. Like, and if people say that others, like, if trainers are saying this, like, I don't know. I think that's just them trying to mollycoddle their client, basically, and say, oh, sorry, Andy, I fucking eat like a pig this week. It's like, don't worry, now's the worst time to diet. That's bullshit. It's utter bullshit.
Exactly my point, mate. Exactly my point. Because, you know, again, we weigh it up here. It's circumstantial, 100%. I spoke to you, Andy, before the start of this podcast, that there's people in a really bad place through all this. There really is. And, you know, thoughts go out to everybody's family who've got people who are ill. People have lost their job after so many years, and we totally get that. But as fitness professionals, we're here to talk about people who still have an option, still have a choice. Could try and turn this on its head. We're trying to be as positive as possible here. So 100%, mate, I totally agree with you. People need to accept that various distractions that once were there and potentially, when you had good intentions starting a diet, that night out you couldn't say no to, that Chinese you couldn't say no to, majority of them are closed, drinks after work, it's all away now. So is this your time? Don't look at what other people are doing and going, oh, somebody says it's not a good time to diet. They're also the same people who say you don't have to post transformations, or it's not about getting results, or it's not about training hard, it's about feeling happy. They're the same people, mate. So I'm not going to sit here and call people snowflakes, but look at your circumstance and how we can leverage this into make that a positive one for you. If it means backing off, back off, but be realistic with yourself, because that's the only person that you'll either be lying to or you can get better with. Do you know? Cool, mate. So I guess, mate, I've covered a lot. Is there anything else you want to add? Like, is there anything else you've got on your mind that you want to get? I
really want to cover that excuses part, like using this as an excuse. Like,
just highlight it, mate. Give me a good wee 2 minute solo.
Well, for one, like, clients have actually came to me and said, let's use this time as for fat loss, and the check-in was, let's use this week as a warm-up week. I'm like, you were the one that fucking told me to change your diet and all that sort of stuff. So, it's a lot of people don't know what to do themselves. I totally understand that. And in terms of being content in stuck in your house and not being able to do stuff, I'm used to that. I've done that since I was 19. When I've been competing, you have to sit there and be like, I'm not allowed to go to that restaurant, I can't go to that party. So I'm kind of content, I know how. So I do understand how people have that kind of excuse of, look, I'm bored out my mind, I feel like I've got nothing to do, and food's the first thing that I reach for. But at the same time, like you just said, there is that kind of, I feel people are using it as an excuse. Don't get me wrong, like, if you've lost your job and you've got kids, fair enough. Like, I totally get it. You've got to homeschool your kids now for the next foreseeable future and that. But, a lot of the people we train are younger, don't have kids, single, some of them. Like, it's just an excuse, mate. And like we've just pointed out in that, like, this is the best time to be on a diet. To be honest, like, it did come over my mind a wee bit, but the only reason it didn't kind of stick was because there's no shows that are kind of set in stone. But I was like, now would be a good time to prep, because there's no distractions. There's no, like, 3 weeks out, a wee story. So 3 weeks out, me and my girlfriend sat in the Q Park above our gym for 45 minutes, just wanting to kill ourselves because we wanted to eat so badly. And we're like, you know what, let's just fucking do it. Let's just go eat for the rest of the afternoon and we'll just write it off and start again tomorrow. That can't cross your mind because it's not there. It's literally not there. And the government has closed everything. So the temptations and all that, they don't exist right now. So, and what I would expect to happen to a lot of people is, let's face it, I think this lockdown is going to be longer than another 2 weeks, I think. So let's just say it's 4, 5, 6 weeks. If you get your 6-week diet and you get great results over that 6 weeks, the traction that you'll have when this is all lifted will continue, and you'll still be able to track along that fat loss phase because you're in motion. It's already kick-started. And then what happens is the gyms come back open and you're already in that rhythm of eating well. You're losing good amounts of body fat per week. And now the gyms are open. Imagine the progress that you're going to make from that point. And so, yeah, like, I'm quite glad you brought that up because that's a massive case of fucking bullshit in terms of this is the worst time. It's not. It's the best time.
Yep. Aye. So. Person dependent for sure. But again, we'll try to turn this on a positive note. So, mate, as always, it's always a pleasure getting you on, mate. As if anybody's listening to this that doesn't follow Andy already, it's Andy Scott, AMS Muscle, and over on Facebook and Instagram. And if you've got muscle building related or any sort of plans to cause ridiculous trauma to the muscles during this time, we just abandon a dumbbell. Just hit him up. I'm sure he'll be able to oblige you. He's quite a master at the old programs. other than that, hope everybody stays safe. If there's anything you've heard in this podcast that you think that me and Andy will be better going into detail with, just message us. Again, we'll try to speak to a broad audience here. Andy's got a ton of bodybuilding followers. Mine's more general population. So we are trying to reach a large amount of people here. So it's very difficult to get detailed, but we'll try to give general pieces of advice and thinking leading into the next, the rest of this week and the following. So, yep, if you could do us a favour and share this podcast, it would be awesome. It really does get out to more people. And Andy, mate, have yourself a good day, bud.
Yeah, you too, mate. It's good seeing your face and hearing your voice.
I know I was going to say that, and it will get a wee catch up. I'll get you on again next week, no doubt, mate. But when you're free,
same time next week.
10 every hour, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Do when you want. When you want.
Hi. So, mate, awesome. Have a good day, and thanks very much for listening, guys.
Thanks.